Welcome back to Bears football. Bears lose 14-34 against the Los Angeles Rams in the first ever game in SoFi Stadium with fans in attendance. Let's be honest, we all kind of expected this. 4 months ago, to the day when this schedule got released, and I saw that the Bears were playing the Rams on Sunday Night Football to kick off the season, I already knew it was a terrible decision for the NFL to make. Well, why? The Bears are on national television. That's my problem. The Bears, I knew, were going to lose this game regardless of, where this was being played or what time. You get my point. Regardless, they were going to lose this game this season, probably. So, yeah, I saw that on the schedule, week 1, Sunday Night Football, and I immediately was just like, what are you doing? We all know that the Rams are going to win, but it's the first game in SoFi Stadium with fans in attendance. That's why they want this game on national television, and rightfully so. It's very interesting. You get Al Michaels in there. So let's talk about the game, shall we? The Bears get the ball to start the first half. I knew that when I saw that was already a bad sign. Because I already knew that we probably would be losing at the end of the half, so we would really want that ball to start the second half. But Rams won the toss, they deferred, so Bears start with the football. And out comes Andy Dalton, Chicago's savior, to literally no one. And to be fair, the Bears actually did not do terrible on their first drive. Andy Dalton completed his first pass to, I think it was Mooney. And then David Montgomery sprints out on a 41-yard burst. And, I was like, hooray! We might score a touchdown on our first drive of the season. And then, right after Montgomery comes out, and gets that big gain, Justin Fields walks out onto the field. And the entire stadium's just like, what? 2 plays and that's it? You're pulling the trigger already, Matt? Or at least that's what I thought they were going to do. Because Justin Fields came in for 1 play, and he completed his first NFL pass to Marquise Goodwin for about an 8-yard gain, and he went back to the sideline. I frankly don't even know what that whole thing was. Just Justin Fields got his first pass, and then just walked right back off to the sideline. I don't know, man. Don't ask me what Matt's thinking. I'm gonna ask you to do that all night long because Matt Nagy had some very interesting play calls we'll get to in a bit. But the Bears are in the red zone. It's like 3rd and 1. Dalton's flushed. He has to throw it away. He finds a good target, but doesn't realize that a Rams defender had, just kind of been strayed and just had no one covering him. So he's like, okay, I'm going to watch Dalton, see if I bats the ball up in the air, and it's intercepted in the end zone. And my hopes went from, we might actually score a touchdown on our first drive to, of course, this is how we're going to start our season. That's the most Bears way to start the season. A promising run from Montgomery, a promising look from Dalton completing his first pass to Fields completing his first pass, coming on the 3rd play from scrimmage for the Bears season, and then picked off on a tip play. Reminds me of the pick late in the game last year against the Rams when that was like the last chance we had of ever winning that game. It was like, we might actually score points. Our offense might actually do something. And then they got picked off in the end zone. So, same situation here. And out comes Matthew Stafford for his first snaps as a Los Angeles Ram. 12 years in Detroit for nothing. He's freed from Detroit, comes to LA with a fantastic supporting cast and a star-studded defense led by Aaron Donald. And what does he do on the 3rd play from scrimmage in a Rams uniform? Nothing much. Just casually throws a 80-yard bomb to Van Jefferson. who tumbles down. Okay, big bomb play. Stafford gets it on the board, but he's getting back up and going. It says, oh my God! The first big defensive blunder of the year belongs to Deshaun Gibson and Eddie Jackson for being too dumb to realize you have to touch the player to call him down. So Van Jefferson was not called down, and he got right back up and ran the last 10, 15 yards into the end zone for the Rams' first touchdown of the season. And naturally, the crowd went nuts. It was just the perfect way for the Bears to start their season, doing Bears things that have been going on for forever, it seems, at this point. So the Bears find themselves down 7-0 early in this game. Next, Bears get the ball. Again, Dalton comes back out. So, you think maybe after that interception, everyone's like, all right, this is it. Fields is in. Dalton, you had your fun. You got your start. Now it's Fields' time. But Matt Nagy is too stubborn to do that. So Dalton stays out there. Before I move on real quick, I just wanted to mention about a hot take I mentioned in my draft review that I completely take back. I said that Justin Fields should not start this season at all and just should suffer under Dalton and Foles for a year. Not necessarily suffer, but should learn under them for a year. I was too stupid to realize that that's just illogical, and the Bears would just settle for being terrible the entire season. And the only reason why Mahomes was able to do that because Alex Smith was able to hold the fort down, and the Chiefs were able to be an actual competent football team. And then Mahomes came in, and we all know what happens after that. Now, I think that the team should be a bit more conservative with this and just try to hold off on starting Fields for a little bit, just so that if the offensive line has some major kinks, they can fix it out in these first couple of weeks, and then Fields can come in. But they didn't look too bad tonight, and I'll get into why in a minute. But here's the first really questionable call of the season. The Bears are driving, not doing, super great. They got one first down, and it's 4th and 4. They're on the Rams 40. Instead of just punting it away or trying a long field goal for Cairo Santos, whichever one it is at this point, honestly, Matt Nagy decides to be Matt Nagy and go for it. On the second drive of the season, in the first half of the first quarter of your first game against one of the best defenses in the league. Unsurprisingly, that attempt fails, and the Bears turn it over on downs and leave with no points. Not like they were going to score points really anyways, but that gave not the Lions, because Stafford's not on the Lions anymore. That gave the Rams great field position, and they went and drove down for a field goal. So it's 10-0. Only 10 minutes of game time's gone by, and the Bears just look awful. So the Bears get the ball back after that field goal, and Dalton completes a 19-yard pass to Marquise Goodwin, which was kind of nice. Nice little yak there for Goodwin. But another 15 yards was tacked on the end of that after an unsportsmanlike or personal foul call. Face mask on the Rams was called. So the Bears go into Rams territory for the third time in 3 drives, by the way, and we still have no points. So the Bears lose 2 yards on 2 straight plays, so it's 3rd and 14, and they get about 10 yards. It's 4th and 4. What does Matt Nagy do? He goes for it again on 4th and 4 in Rams territory, where in the last one you could kind of understand they're only the 40, where here they're inside the 40. They can kick a longer field goal. Santos has proven that he can kick longer field goals, but Nagy is still just doesn't want Parkey, doesn't want to deal with Parkey anymore. So he just goes for it again. And guess what? Just take a wild guess on what happens. Oh, you already know how this story ends. They fail it, of course, and they turn it over on downs again and come away with 0 points on 3 straight drives to begin the season in Rams territory. Unsurprisingly, the Rams will score some more points. They get another field goal from Matt Gay, and Bears finally punt on our next drive because they decided not to do that in the last 2 drives. And yeah. Oh my gosh, 4 drives. No points. 2 turnovers on downs and a punt. Oh, never mind the pick. And that possession that we've gotten to the punt, that was just inside the Rams 50. So that was the 4th straight possession to start the season in opposing team's territory that we failed to score any points on. Through the entire first half, we had every drive go into Rams territory and we scored on just one of them, which was the next one as the Bears forced the Rams to punt. A long drive towards the end of the first half resulted in a David Montgomery touchdown for the first of the season. The Bears go from looking like they're going to get destroyed to some semblance of an offense. By the way, Andy Dalton, right before that touchdown run, had like an 8-9 yard run. So, I mean, Dalton's showing his legs off a little bit. I mean, David Montgomery did a lot of these heavy lifting on that drive, and he got the touchdown. And that's exactly what you want to see from someone like that. The one who does the most to get the score, especially on a long drive where he's the one who's doing all of it. And that brings us to halftime. Rams 13, Bears 7. Hey, it's a 1-possession game at halftime, and the Bears left so many points on the board. Like, come on, they had points right there on the first drive. And then, of course, that pass had to be tipped and picked. We get back from halftime. The Rams convert on a 3rd down. And on the ensuing first down play, Matthew Stafford throws a 56-yard pass to Cooper Kupp, who, I kid you not, had probably 5 yards of a circle, like an entire circle around him. There was probably about 5 yards, maybe even 10, of no player at all. No Rams, no Bears players at all. And I'm sitting there like, that really sucks. How did that happen? How did the Bears let that up? Well, this play happens because of a certain defensive player who I had never even heard of. Last guy to come on the defensive intros for the Bears defense, Marquis Christian. First impressions are always the most important, and Christian had a terrible first impression, especially with this play, because he decided it'd be a good idea to follow Kupp for a little bit and then think the safeties have him covered and just drops it. So Kupp is just like, oh, okay, goodbye. Hey, I'm open. All right, thanks. Touchdown, let's go. Like, I mean, honestly, I feel like Kupp was honestly like, oh, shoot, he just let me open. All right, Matthew, I'm open. I'm open, Matthew. Just, yeah, you don't even have to throw it, like, right to me. Just making sure it's catchable. Thanks. Thanks, man. Like, come on, man. It's literally so embarrassing. That was such a terrible, terrible play. So the Rams go up 20-7 in just about a minute in the 3rd quarter. They kick it off, and the Bears decide now's the time to have our slow, monotonous march down the field. And they keep progressing, and they keep getting first downs, and they keep progressing down the field. They get back into Rams territory again for like the 5th or 6th time at this point in a row. And they only have 7 points to show for it, by the way. They keep going, and they keep marching down the field. It's very slow. It's very monotonous. But, you know, that's how the Bears offense works. We can't do explosives. We cannot hit explosive plays to save our lives. So this is how the offense is going to run. Slow, monotonous down the field. The drive took 9 minutes and 38 seconds. Almost 2/3 of an entire quarter of football. 16 plays. And before the eventual touchdown would be scored, I legit was just like, look, this is such a Bears drive. Long drive. Offense seems to be going somewhere. All right, we're going to end up with 3 points on this drive because we fail a third down conversion in the red zone. I specifically thought the drive was going to end on a 3rd and 8 in the Rams' red zone, but Andy Dalton completed an 11-yard pass to Jimmy Graham, who that was his first catch of the year, as Cole Kmet got the start, and he looked all right. Didn't look great, didn't look terrible. So, yeah, I mean, Jimmy Graham had the big catch in the red zone, set up 1st and goal, and out comes Justin Fields again. That's the weird thing. He comes in for one play every now and then. It's almost like Matt Nagy's trying to use Justin Fields as like Taysom Hill or something. And honestly, that's just stupid, in my opinion. I don't really like that. I like that we were able to see him a little bit. But if you were going to put him in, put him in. Instead of just put him in for one random play in the middle of a drive and then put Andy back in. Like, I don't get that. That was just not really smart by Matt Nagy, thinking like Justin Fields could be like our guy that could throw the Rams defense off. No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. He didn't. No, Justin Fields, that's not his fault at all. He played fine for when he went in. But Matt Nagy, why are you just putting him in random plays throughout this game, trying to think that it's going to make you feel like you are some new age coach that's going to revolutionize the league by just randomly putting in your backup just in every play or whatever. Before I move on to Matt Nagy, Justin Fields comes in for this play, and he takes the snap, doesn't give it off to anyone, doesn't throw the ball. He's going to keep it, and he will dive in for a touchdown. Justin Fields gets his first NFL touchdown, a rushing touchdown in SoFi Stadium. I mean, honestly, I'm not going to be mad about that. Justin Fields gets his first NFL touchdown in week 1 when we all didn't know if he was going to even see the NFL field till at least like week 4. And there you have it. Justin Fields, first NFL touchdown. That's going to be a big question for next week if he starts or not. I'll talk about that after we finish the game recap here. So the Bears cap off a 16-play, nearly 10-minute drive with a touchdown. And how does the defense respond? By giving up a touchdown. Although not in like 3 or 4 plays. It only took them like 8. But, Cooper Kupp got this massive play that pretty much probably they should have just given him the touchdown because Darrell Henderson, after Cooper Kupp was ruled down on the half-yard line, just plowed it in. And my goodness, did Cooper Kupp break so many tackles on this play? The Bears defense just could not tackle Cooper Kupp to save their lives tonight, and it really cost them because Cooper Kupp was just all over the field, and he was the top target of the night. Like, make a tackle. It's not that hard. You take the guy and you bring him to the ground. It's not that hard in concept, but Cooper Kupp makes it really difficult. David Montgomery also makes it really complicated. And that's what David Montgomery was in all game long. He managed to get over 100 yards. The Rams did not let up a 100-yard rusher last season, by the way, and they let up one in the first game of the year. So proud of David Montgomery of doing that. You're still showing that even with a terrible offensive line, you can still manage 100 yards a game because you're breaking so many gosh darn tackles. So yeah, Cooper Kupp breaks a bunch of tackles, gets inside the 1. Henderson runs in for the touchdown. And that's the end of that drive. We're into the 4th quarter already. And you know what? This next Bears drive actually looks pretty promising. It's, 27-14 now. It's still possible we get into the 4th quarter as the Bears are driving. If they score here, they're, within 1 possession, and this game is totally winnable. We get inside the Rams 30. It's first down. And the first time that Andy Dalton the first time Andy Dalton gets sacked is just brutal. He looked good escaping pressure despite the offensive line not really giving him much time. He'd been getting the ball out quick, like really quick, and that was really what was helping our offense a lot. Dalton's ability to get the ball out quick tonight was really good, but not on this play. He did not have any time, and frankly, on this play still even had a bit of a funny moment, as right before Dalton got sacked, he stiff-armed Aaron Donald. Aaron Donald just got stiff-armed and thrown to the ground by Andy Dalton. Think about that. Andy Dalton. Too bad there was another Rams defender right behind him, so he sacked him anyways. It was a 15-yard loss, and the Bears, they got some of that yardage back. And then Matt Nagy's, an idiot, and he decides to go for it on fourth down instead of kick the field goal and just take the damn points. Kick the field goal. Don't go for it on 4th and 15. I know it's the fourth quarter now, but you've already gone for it twice, and you failed. You left like 6 points on the board, possibly 6 points. Kick the field goal. Take the points. I don't care. Take the points. It's a 10-point game. It's not that big of a deal. Just take the dang points. Who knows? Don't go for it. Just take the points. Of course, the play fails, and Bears turn it over on downs for the third time. 0 for 3 on the fourth down conversions in this game. On the ensuing Rams drive, Darrell Henderson was the only player that pretty much touched the ball on this drive. Matthew Stafford just became a ball handler. He just took the snap, gave it to Henderson, let him do all the work, and he literally single-handedly ran this clock all the way out, and he, oh my goodness. I cannot believe that this defense could not get a third down stop on this drive. They'd stop on 1st and 2nd, but as third down came, sometimes it'd be like 3rd and 9, and then Darrell Henderson would run and get the first down every time on this drive. It was unreal. And then Stafford throws in the back of the end zone for Robert Woods, who makes an amazing catch, by the way. I'm not going to deny that. Robert Woods makes a great catch, and it's a 20-point Rams lead. Desperation time for the Bears. They're down 20. There's under 3 minutes to go, pretty much. So, they just do their thing, get to another fourth down. Matt Nagy decides to go for it again on 4th and 10. Obviously, the attempt fails. And the Bears finish 0-4 on 4th down in the game. And it really cost him a lot. It could have cost him a lot of points. I'll tell you that much. Holy cow. Did Matt Nagy just not want to kick a field goal? He just doesn't want to kick a field goal. That is the problem here. He just is so afraid to kick a field goal now. Rams kneel the game away. 34-14 is your final score, and the Bears lose Week 1 on Sunday Night Football. This game's big loser, Matt Nagy. Andy Dalton looked fine. I'm not going to be like, put in Fields now. Andy Dalton looked like trash. Yeah, he didn't throw it for a touchdown. He had a pick. But, granted, that pick was tipped. It was tipped. Honestly, if he just threw that ball, and I wasn't getting picked. Yeah, he should have seen the defender coming. But, frankly, if that wasn't tipped, it wasn't getting picked off. And he don't look fine. He wasn't throwing many incompletions, by the way. He was mostly, for the most part, completing a lot of his passes. So, honestly, he didn't look too bad tonight. Matt Nagy, though, had some terrible play calling. Is this a shocker for Bears fans, knowing what happened last year? Not at all, because Matt Nagy is terrible at play calling. Because, you know why? Run up the gut, screen passes, all the time. It's so predictable, man. It's so predictable. I know Montgomery's able to fight his way and just muscle his way through some situations, but not all the dang time. Montgomery was fighting for every inch. The fact that he got 100 yards in this game is a miracle with how bad our offensive line and how he could not find any holes outside of that first play that he ran for 41 yards. And then Matt Nagy's audacity to go for it on 4th down, not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4 times, and failing every time. Every time. Failing on 4th down. 0 for 4 on 4th down. 4 downs, unconverted. Oh my goodness. Did Matt Nagy just not want to kick a field goal? He's stuck in the past. he thinks that like we can pull off some wacky trick plays or, go for it and get it. This isn't 2018 anymore, Matt. You have to wake up and realize this is how the Bears organization is normally run. This is how it normally goes. Excuse me. It's not how it's normally run, although I wish it wasn't. It pretty much is. Matt, kick the field goal. Cairo Santos is not Cody Parkey. He's not Cody Parkey. He's not going to doink it. He's not going to double doink it, man. Or at least all the time. Obviously it's going to happen. But have some trust in your kicker. Trust your kicker. It's not that hard. The amount of times that over these past couple of years since the double doink that he went for 2 instead of just kicking the extra point because he was too nervous that they were going to doink it or whatever is insane. Matt Nagy's still so nervous and anxious from the double doink and cannot move on and just continues time and time again and refuses to give kickers an opportunity, to give the kicker an opportunity to kick a field goal. It's frustrating. He wants 6 every time. Yeah, we all want 6 every time, but sometimes you got to settle for 3. Sometimes you got to settle for 3, man. Come on. Come on, man. It's not that hard, Matt. Have some actual good play calling. Diversify it. You know what? Take some shots down the field. That's another thing. No shots were taken down the field at all in this game. The only reason we got a 40-yard play was because Montgomery's a great running back, and he was able to finally get a hole. It was like the one time he got a hole in this game, and I can't believe it. It's the same old Bears that we've been watching last year. It's literally nothing changed. The only thing that changed, Dalton's the quarterback instead of Trubisky. We got some new wide receivers. Our defense got a little changed up. Still the same team. I really don't see much difference. I really don't know. This was just a long game that once we turned it over that third time on that 4th and 15, I knew it was over. When Henderson just he killed us. It was a slow and torturous death of the Bears. So we've got the Bengals next week. The Bengals won in overtime against the Minnesota Vikings. I couldn't be happier. The Vikings lost the Bengals. That to me is just awesome. And the fact that game almost tied. Both teams tried to lose that game, by the way. So we're going to be playing Joe Burrow next week. Joe Burrow's going to come to Soldier Field. It's the home debut, home opener. Please let's beat the Bengals. Because after the Bengals, we've got the Browns on the road, and they pushed Kansas City to their limit in Arrowhead. And they almost won that game, by the way. So, frankly, Cleveland's going to be a loss. We have to win this game against Cincinnati. We cannot start the season 0-3 and then just have to be like, all right, here comes our home game against Detroit. Let's get back on track. We can't wait until then. We cannot wait. We have to get this win this week. It's only 1 week in, and I'm already going. It's must-win territory. So, yeah. The NFC North is 0-4 this season, and the NFC West is 4-0 this year. The Packers lost by 35 to the New Orleans Saints. Not even in the Superdome, in Jacksonville, because Hurricane Ida decided to happen and forced the Saints to go play somewhere else. Jameis Winston threw 5 touchdowns to no picks. The bakery was closed. The turnover bakery was closed for Jameis Winston. But Aaron Rodgers had one of the worst games of his career, and I couldn't be happier. Oh, my goodness. 2 picks, 1 in the red zone, and just Aaron Rodgers was garbage. He was benched. Aaron Rodgers was benched for Jordan Love. He was benched, and the Packers didn't score a touchdown. They
lost by 35 points, the largest margin of defeat in Aaron Rodgers' career when he starts a football game.
I couldn't be happier. Honestly, that alone makes this loss hurt a little bit less, knowing that we scored 2 touchdowns on the road and we performed better than the Packers.
So yeah, that's how things look in the NFL Week 1. It was a very entertaining Week 1. But yeah, Tampa Bay and Dallas, that was a heck of a game. Some other really good games around the league throughout the first week. Cleveland and Kansas City, the big notable one today on Sunday, which frankly should have gotten the spot on Sunday Night Football if it wasn't for the Rams having their first game with fans tonight.
So I'm going to end it there. That's the end of this first reaction of the season. Thank you so much for watching. Hit that like button if you like this reaction. Hit that subscribe button if you want to see more, because these videos are coming out on time this season. And I will see you guys next time.